How to start a clothing line. Step-by-step guide. How big the apparel or clothing industry? There are 292,577 global apparel brands as of 2023. The global fashion industry produces more than 100 to 150 billion items of clothing per year. In 2023, the revenue in the apparel market worldwide is estimated to reach a surprising $1.74 trillion. In 2024, it's forecast to increase by 2.9% to $1.79 trillion, before rising another 2.8% to $1.84 trillion in 2025. Similar growth rates are predicted for 2026 and 2027, when the industry is set to grow by 2.7% each year to $1.89 trillion and $1.94 trillion, respectively. We've come to know the clothing industry as one of the biggest industries on planet, and the opportunities of growing business increasing significantly time after time. Starting a clothing line is more accessible than ever before. In this article, I'm going to share some most valuable and effective key steps on how will you start your own clothing brand line. Understanding clothing business. The apparel industry is not like overnight success. It takes time to establish a clothing brand. Success comes gradually, not dramatically. A goal should be set by entrepreneur. First of all, you need to understand the business type, nature of business, pros and cons, more and more study on clothing business. Business plans. A business without a plan is like a fish without water. It's a written document outlining your business goals, strategies, and action plans. Kindly make sure to include these key components in your business plan. Executive summary. An executive summary is brief business overview, including your mission, vision, and goals. Design and development. Design and development is heart of clothing business. During a plan, it is considered with highest priority. Market study. This is completely researching matter on your target audience, target price including customer demographics, preferences, and purchasing behavior. Something new or special. A clothing line's success depends on its products. A new type or sustainable materials, or unique aesthetics, or a social or an ethical or an environmental mission. Production and distribution. Supply chain, production process, sourcing, manufacturing, logistics, storing, and distribution policies need to fix plan in advance. Finance, including revenue, expenses, and profitability. This can help you understand the potential financial position of your business. Know your audience. Identifying your customer base is one of the major steps. You have to figure out your target audience and potential customers, or ideal customer. When you're working towards establishing your business, fashion makes things both easier and harder at the same time. I'm advising few questions to identify your audience. What about their age group? What are their favorite clothing brands? Are they trendy or classical? What types of fitting and styling they are selecting? What about price point? What make them influenced to buy clothing? I strongly believe you will get a better understanding of your target audience from above answering. Once you get your targeted audience, you will be one step ahead always. Name your brand, your business. Name is the first thing that people will see when they remember your clothing line. Choosing one that's unique, catchy, meaningful, memorable, and available as a domain name. Use below tips when choosing a brand name for your clothing line. Be unique. Your brand name should stand out from other brands and it should be catchy. Avoid copying other brand names or fix any name that is closer to other brands. Simple is excellence. Simple is the symbol of excellence. Most of the successful brands are very simple and easy to pronounce, spell, and remember. Avoid using any complex words or phrases. Reflect the brand's identity. Meaningful and easy spell brands carry the spirit of your brand and sets it apart from others. Check availability. Before fixing a brand name or a business name, check its domain availability, local register availability, and trademark status to avoid any legal issues. Register your business. A business license is a legal document that allows you to operate your business. After choosing a brand name, the next step is to register your business with your state or country. The process of business registering will vary and entirely depends on your country law and regulation. Obtaining a business license for a clothing line, make sure, finalize business structure. A business structure is required your business, such as a sole proprietorship, partnership, or corporation. This will determine your business's legal and financial responsibilities and the process for obtaining a business license. Business permits and licenses. Depending on your business activities, location, and service type, you may need to get permits and licenses. You can get this from local authorities, city corporations, or government bodies. Register your business. Your business registration is directly connected to your local government or state agency, which typically involves filling out an application and paying a fee. Laws and regulations. Ensure that your clothing business complies with all relevant regulations and laws, including those related to taxes, labor, social welfare, health, and safety. Work with an expert. Your brand, your idea, your entrepreneurship, all entirely belongs to you. But at the same time, this is particularly true. If you don't have experience in the fashion industry, there is a chance to fall into infinity or chances of failure. I strongly recommend for a startup or beginners to work with an expert or a fashion entrepreneurs. A trustworthy consultant could guide you up to your need. The purpose to work with an expert is to learn handling the clothing business, from design to production, communication to sourcing, development to shipment, product pricing to selling products. Apparel business is not a regular type business. This industry is full of tricky and trouble activities and issues that need to solve by experience and skill. So, I'm leaving this decision on you to decide. Inspiration from other brands and influencers. Whatever else happens when you start a clothing line, make sure your creative inspiration never runs dry. Get connected with the social media accounts of fashion influencers, so you'll always know what they're up to. Visit the brick-and-mortar establishments of popular designers. Newsletters, magazines, and podcasts about fashion are also great ways to get inspired for your line of clothing. And you can always check out fashion blogs and websites. Pinterest is a great platform to get designs that inspire you. Create a board to collect images of clothing styles and fashion brands that speak to you for your line of clothing. And don't confine yourself to images of clothes. Even just by walking down the street, you can get colors and designs that appeal to you and could serve as inspiration for your next design. Observe textures, lines, shapes, and color combinations to find what you like. And don't forget friends and family. What do they need? What do they wear? What is their experience with clothing? Do they like screen printing? These conversations can give you that spark of creativity. Look at social media to find not only what your friends are wearing, but also to look at the clothing choices of celebrities they admire. Gain knowledge of fabrics. Fabric is the main element of apparel/clothing, so clothing depends on fabric entirely. The more of fabric knowledge you gain, the more you will be advanced in apparel clothing industry. Fabrics are used to follow seasons like spring, summer, autumn, winter, etc. Apparel/clothing belongs 3 different categories. 1. Woven. 2. Knit, light knit, circular knit. 2. Heavy knit, flat knit, sweater. Woven has the more variety and most important part and parcel of clothing. Woven fabric is formed by weaving that belongs a warp, lengthwise, and a weft, widthwise. Fabric content, composition, is more important. Cause fabrics are made by yarns, and yarns are made by raw materials like cotton, polyester, nylon, viscose, linen, etc. There are many types of woven fabrics like poplin, twill, denim, satin, oxford, flannel, voile, crepe, georgette, filafil, chiffon, taffeta, corduroy, sheeting, herringbone, dobby, microfiber, canvas, fake memory, etc. All kinds of tops, shirts, trousers, shorts, cargos, chinos, outerwears are made by woven fabric. Knit fabric is made by knitting, and knitting is formed by yarns, and yarns are made by raw materials, such contents like cotton, polyester, nylon, viscose, linen, modal, etc. Most popular knit fabric are single jersey, pique, Lacoste, rib, interlock, tricot, French terry, fleece, mesh, etc. All kinds of t-shirt, polo shirt, tank tops, hoodies, lingerie, bras are made by knit fabric. Sweater flat knits are made by yarns, and yarns are made by various raw contents like cotton, polyester, viscose, nylon, acrylic, wool, etc. All kinds of pullovers, cardigans, jumpers are sweater/flat knit items. Designed to life. Fashion itself limitless. Before the fashion sketches, scratch, or illustration, you need to establish few important matters like, is your clothing line creating for men's, women's, unisex, or kids? Are you focusing athleisure, formal wear, active wear, casual wear, swimwear, sleepwear, sportswear, streetwear, outdoor wear, medical wear, etc.? Are you offering customers clothing and accessories, both or only clothing, like tees, polos, hoodies, outerwears, coats, dresses, tops, blouses, shirts, trousers, or pants, shorts, cargos, joggers, capris, chinos, formal trouser or pants, leggings or jeggings, boxers, lingeries, underwears, sweaters or jumpers or pullovers or cardigans, socks, ties, belts, etc.? The fashion industry generally moves to the rhythm of the seasonal cycle, fall, winter, and spring, summer. You have to offer clothes for your customers around the season. Your collections should be ready for the next season, at least 6 to 12 months in advance. So get ready your unique designs and styling. You could be a designer yourself for your own brand, and always you will be one step ahead. If you are a young entrepreneur or startups, you can hire a fashion designer full-time or part-time based. Or you can contact to a freelancer that is also a perfect option, and all are depending on your budget. A designer will not only design your ideas, but also responsible to create technical pack or tech pack and measurement chart. In the tech pack, clothing technical details, brand label, fabric details, print and embroidery, care and wash instructions, design, styling, sewing direction, tags, accessories attachment, measurements, wash details, packing method clearly mentions. Finally, your imagination turns to life. Set your fitting guidelines. Your clothing brand must have a fitting guidelines wherever you are in the world. Can you imagine there are 292,577 apparel brands active and doing business, and all brands belong its own customer. Customers prefer brands considering styling, fitting, trending, design, fabrication, sewing quality, color, wash, etc. Fitting issues are considered seriously by customers. Customers never compromise on fitting issues. Clothing brands are not any tailoring shop, but provide and sell ready-made, ready-to-wear garment. Clothing brands offer and produce ready-made garments globally to follow their own fitting guidelines as well as international fitting guidelines. To maintain a fitting guideline is a very tough job where several countries and lots of departments need to engage and ensure fitting within tolerance level. For example, Tommy Hilfiger placed an order to a Bangladeshi clothing manufacturer or to a apparel buying office and fabric sourced from China, etc. Just think already 3 countries involved and lots of departments work together to ensure fit and apparel quality, like clothing brands design, technical, sourcing, and buying teams directly involved. Garment manufacturers, production, merchandising, technical, pattern, cascade, quality, washing technical teams. If a clothing brand place an order through a sourcing agent, apparel buying office, the buying sourcing office teams also involves directly and time-to-time follow-up, happens and finally desired fitting and quality both comes as per expectation. Choosing a sourcing agent is really wise. Textile mills team to ensure fabric, GSM or weight, width, construction, shrinkage, special finish like peach, mercerize, brush, coating, etc. Ensure and supply quality approved fabric. Sample development. Once tech pack, measurement, pattern, sizing, CAD are ready, you have to develop mock-ups or proto-sample with actual fabric, style, print, embroidery, trims, and wash. Your manufacturing unit or buying agent is fully responsible to provide you proto-sample before making any production or SMS program. Once proto is done successfully, the fit sample is next step with actual fabric. After fitting confirmation, pre-production samples are required before bulk production. Pre-production sample is called mirror of bulk production. Kindly note, bigger and mid-size clothing brands maintain various type sample procedures as they have established departments and teams. Big brands are more professional and they need to follow some procedures. Small brands, young entrepreneurs, startups, or online clothing brands don't need to follow huge procedures like big established brands. If you are financially sound and want to invest, kindly keep going with sample procedures. Clothing production and manufacturing. After design, style, and proto-development, your production stage starts. This part is most challenging for a clothing brand, and that needs to handle smartly with huge patience. Selecting a right manufacturing unit is also another challenge. If your target and future plan is big, you can visit factories directly. Eventually, a manufacturer is one of your dependable business partner who will play a significant role to success your brand. Or, if your business is small or online-based, you can set design studio or can communicate with small manufacturers who can support and can understand your need. In the world, many countries are suitable, skilled, and finest destination for apparel production, like China, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Pakistan, India, Egypt, Turkey, Mexico, Indonesia, etc. Most of the brands like to work with apparel sourcing agents instead. Direct manufacturers for brands' business safety, cause a apparel sourcing office or buying office takes all responsibilities of apparel brand to ensure quality, price, and on-time delivery. Time-to-time communication with your manufacturer is must and do follow up on this. Kindly share tech pack, sample comments, and other instructions clearly and on time so that factory can go ahead. Production to deliver you on time. Don't hold anything without any reason, because a manufacturer works with several clients. If factory doesn't get approval, instruction on time, they can start other clients' production and your production will be delayed. This is a very common practice of a manufacturing unit. Apparel brands prefer sourcing agent to get this challenging done successfully. International business policies. Fashion business or clothing runs globally and across the countries. You need to know export and import procedures, documentations, duty and charges, customs laws, HS code, etc. Established or big clothing brands belong their own manuals and importing procedures and systems, where enough manpower are engaged to handle and execute export/import documents and goods. Brands generally import goods, apparel, by ocean, sea, and by air, if required. That depends on supply chain and demand. Ocean is cheap and standard mode of export and import. If your brand is small or you just started your clothing line, what will be your mode of importing? Well, in this case, you should not select sea ocean shipments because it requires huge custom documents, port handling, and charges. Your preferable way could be air shipment or by courier when your MOQ is very low. Online brands mostly prefer courier shipment, cause easy and faster delivery and no hassle of shipping documents. Ethical and social compliance. International fashion brands strictly maintain and follow the ethical and social compliance standards, rules, regulations, policies, SOPs to ensure and control safety workplace, no child labor, no forced labor, wages and benefits, long working hours, discrimination and harassment, freedom of association, environmental sustainability, limitation of banned chemical usage, etc. There are lots of social audits are incorporated by international fashion brands like ISO, BSCI, SEDEX, WRAP, ACCORD, RSC, NIRAPON, OEKOTEX, BETTERWORK, HIGG, GOTS, GRS, OCS, RDS, RMS, RWS, BLUESIGNET, apparel manufacturers, garment factories, used to achieve these social compliance and ethical audits and certificates to get orders from renowned fashion brands. Small brands or startups usually don't ask for social compliance certificates. Before starting a clothing brand, you need to have a clear concept on import taxes, duties, restricted matters, products, duty-free products and contents, cotton, synthetic, blend content, etc. Rules by national agencies or govt. Set your product price. Setting a reasonable price of your products is another important step. You need to balance between making a profit and offering attractive prices to customers. Price depends on your products, quality, design, targeted customer type, as well as brand type, luxury, premium, regular type, low price. During product cost, you must include few key cost factors like office space rent, employee salaries, monthly utilities, internet access, cost of materials, time, marketing and advertising, packaging, shipping, website, domain, hosting. Be aware of the pricing tendencies in your market and have a look to your competitors what they are offering. This will help you to set a competitive and acceptable price. Don't set higher price at your beginning time. My advice is clothing industry and not like overnight success, and it takes time, even long time, to see brand success and earning. So keep patience and concentrate with trends, startup budget and finance. You know very well your startup and other running costs and have planned your margins. You can see how much of your savings you'll need to launch. You must have a sufficient funding at hand before launching a clothing brand. You can't make a blind plan like this. I could manage from my friend or from my family or other sources in future or next month. Fashion or clothing business requires money everywhere. Amount could be more or less, that depends on venture type or size of business. So please make a sustainable funding plan. Even you can choose a loan option from bank or bringing partner or investors. Budget and finance entirely depends on your plan, size of business, and types of business. I mean, startup costs can vary greatly across different clothing lines, where a very small-sized, fresh startup clothing line will need a minimum of $1,000 to get started. A medium-sized line should have between $5,000 to $10,000 for startup costs, and a large line will need approximately $50,000 to $100,000 or more. Major areas of startup costs are documentation and administrative cost, manufacturing costs, product sourcing and material costs, designing and delivery costs, travel cost, courier cost, website and marketing costs, which may include product photography, distribution costs. Set your own team. You must have a team if you are planning to start a clothing line. A team can be small, medium size, big, very big, even giant size that depends on your business volume. As an entrepreneur, you need to handle and monitor entire business and must keep in touch with everything, but you can't execute or do everything, as clothing business requires variety of activities. Departments like design sourcing, IT, and web technical/fitting quality, and production shipping, social compliance, and audit. This department are maintained by established or big brands. Administrative. If you are a young entrepreneur or beginner or startup, better choose freelance basis hiring instead full-time employment. Even you don't need to have decorated or furnished office to minimize the cost. My suggestion is fashion or clothing or apparel business are entirely expense-oriented business, and please grow a less expensive attitude in you. All you need to do is savings and not to waste. Market your clothing brand. You need to market your clothing brand so that your desired brand can be recognized, introduced, and discovered by your target audience. Now, a day numbers of authentic marketing channels and ways to market your clothing business, such as social media marketing, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, LinkedIn, etc. Google Ads, Google AdSense content marketing, search engine optimization, SEO, influencer marketing, e-commerce ads such as Amazon ads and Etsy ads, email marketing sponsorships, international and local events, workshops, fairs, etc. Ads by local fashion magazines. Right path and marketing channel will bear in mind of your audience. Sales channel. The sales channels are also very important in starting and boosting a clothing line, as it fixes how you reach your target customers and successfully sell your products. There are few effective sales channels are available, including retail store, online marketplaces, e-commerce platforms, and your own website. Consider these channels for your fashion line. Retail store. A retail store is a permanent place to sell brands' products. This retail store can be in marketplace, shopping malls, downtown areas. Online marketplaces, eBay, and Walmart let you sell your products to a large and diverse audience of potential customers. These are perfect channels, but may also have high fees and competition. E-commerce platforms, online stores. Platforms such as Shopify, Wix, WooCommerce, or Etsy let you create your own online store and sell your products directly to customers, but you must have technical knowledge to handle these platforms. Own e-commerce site. Some entrepreneurs like to have their own e-commerce. This is an authentic way to build your brand and establish a direct relationship with your customers. The right sales channel or the suitable sales channel for your clothing line entirely depends on budget, business volume, business type, business goals, and target audience. Bottom line, Clothing business is a creative and time-oriented business. It requires a high level of patience, dedication, and business sense. The success of clothing business is not easy. It takes time. Even it takes year after year. You need to invest your energy and patience with your money. Every brand has its own history, and the history is the combination of bitter and sweet. New brands have been launching, new opportunities have been creating, new customers have been increasing dramatically. So, keep faith and go ahead. Please subscribe our channel to get new videos. If you need any assistance, information, or cooperation for apparel sourcing, manufacturing, business development, kindly feel free to contact fashionandstyle@gmail.com.